Hey guys, what's up? Today we're going to do an episode on some super scale axles I found for the HG-P407 or the Bruiser. So stay tuned and welcome to Radio Out of Control. Okay, here we go. Today we're going to do some education on some axles and tell you a little funny story about them and how I bought them. I was looking for some super scale axles for the HG-P407 or the Bruiser that would actually set the wheels underneath. So, you don't have a lot of you got a lot of choices, but you don't have a lot of choices. So I'm a big fan of the Hilux and the Blazing Blazer, and when I seen these hubs on here, as you can see, the scale massive military hubs, kind of like the old Blazing Blazer and the old Hilux. And then I seen the detail in the steering arms with the kingpins and all that, and the studs. It was too good to be true. And these are from King Kong RC, and I ordered them on eBay, and these are for the 1/12 scale CA30 ZISL 151 6x6 Russian military truck. And so when I seen the size of these axles, I thought, that'd be too small. And so the front is 184 millimeters, okay, and the rear is 192. And I thought, well, the way that things set up here, this is your front. I don't know exactly what this is, but these here are about maybe a quarter of an inch wider for the ARB set, okay. Now, the reason I wanted these was to set the wheels, if I was going to run like a 155 or a 19, to set the wheels inside the wheelhouse. That way I could lower the truck. And so it was all a great plan I had, and so I ordered them. And I think they were like $59 or something for the front, and it was like $56 for the back, and free shipping. So I waited a while to get them. And I was super excited because of the scale hubs on here. I was like blown away by that. And they're a really nice high quality axle. They have a locker front and rear. They're full bearings throughout, and they got some pretty nice looking CV joints in here too that aren't, if you can see down in there, they're good size pins on them, so they're not real weak. But this thing runs that 6x6 military truck, and those things are massive. They're pretty good size. That's when I said, hey, you know what? Like, if they'll withstand the abuse of one of them monsters put in there, and I'll try it on the HG-P407 or the Bruiser. Now, it does have a cornball leaf spring setup on these things. They got these massive, super thick leaf springs that are all stacked together, and it's got like link suspension that links it to, I guess like a cantilever bracket underneath there where the leaf springs mount, and the leaf springs just set through the hole, and it bounces up and down on those. And the front just has two massive leaf springs with some clamps on them. And so I took a shot at buying these things, and I was glad I did, but not glad in another way, because I want to do a comparison here on the HG-P407. I'm going to try to set it down here and give you guys a kind of a look here on how these would fit this. Okay, I'm trying to get my camera set up here for you guys because I forgot my tripod today. I was building a Captain America shield for my son, and he got a really nice quality blank, and we were making brackets for it, and so we took the camera tripod there and forgot about it. So anyways, if you see the way these set, I'm trying to get a good angle on it, they will fit the front leaf springs, and they'll set just inside these cups here, and you got about probably, I'd say a little under, maybe 1/4 of an inch of each side. And the nice thing is it sets the wheel in probably another 1/2 inch, maybe, or just under a 1/2 inch. And on the rear, put this around here, this is the rear end. As you can see, it'll set just on the insides of these outer hub mounts here. So you can use the existing leaf spring brackets and shock mounts and all that stuff, and the crimp plates that go on the top here and the bottom plates, and you can actually put this in there, and you probably have to remove these two swing brackets here that aren't going to be needed. So, but it'll crimp it back down, and it should hold it tight. If not, you know, you can come up with some kind of a shim or something for it to kind of lock it in place. But these things here actually set the wheel into here, which is like, so the wheel sets in tighter to the leaf spring on the front and the rear, and there's very little difference between the 192 and the 184 millimeter when you get it together. And so I thought I was on a roll, okay? And anyway, when I got the things, I was super psyched. And first thing I tried to do was put a Vanquish wheel I had on there. I figured, oh yeah, the 6 lug pattern, should be the same as a 2.2. The 2.2 pattern there, and guess what? It's not. Okay, because it's a lot bigger, because the hub in the center is massive. And so then I thought, well, you know what? I got these G-Mag wheels here. The stalkers. I thought that would look awesome in there. And they do make sets of similar to these out of metal, and I thought I'll just buy the metal ones. And the lug pattern don't fit these either. And it's too wide. I mean, you could probably shim these out a little bit, but you won't be able to use the nut on the side. You'll have to use the Allen socket, head on it to get it in there, which is probably not a big deal, but it defeats the purpose of putting real lug nuts on. That's what I wanted to do, because these are tiny 2 millimeter studs on these things. And like I say, most of the hardware is 2 millimeter, and these are super tiny here. I don't know what these are 2 millimeter too also, but and I don't know, I was kind of stumped with it. But if you take this off here, and I'll take the front apart because I already had it off. If you're not looking for the military or the 4-wheel drive massive hub there, take it out. The center hub just screws on like so, and it has, you know, a 4mm nut, which I was really impressed to see that they had like some big hardware on a 12 scale rig. And then if you take the hub off, you see on the back, I'm blocking the light here, it's got the pin through the axle, just like anything else. You could put a 12mm hex on there without a problem, and which I did. I tried some different, you know, I got the 12mm off my Trailfinder 2 kit that came, and then I got some Vanquish stuff here, you know, because I thought, well, it'd be cool to throw on like a disc brake rotor and kind of have all that together. Gotta get the hardware through it here. Ain't gonna work. I would put a set of disc brakes all the way around it with the hub and everything else. You can do that if you want to use a 4mm nut in there, because the hub that they give you, the military hub here, try to do the reach around here, this hub is too big to fit in the middle of the 2.2 standard bolt pattern. It almost fits, it just doesn't fit. So I was really stumped. So I contacted them and says, hey, you know, can you like sell me a set of the military wheels? I figured I would just run the military. They make a 1.9 and a 2.2 for it. And they come back and said, those wheels are for the kit only. even though they're selling these separately as a do-it-yourself project or an upgrade for your truck, they won't sell them the wheels now. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I've emailed them again. I think they were confused of me wanting to buy the wheels off that particular truck, but they should have, if they got spare rear rims around, they should have spare rims. So if anybody out there knows, if Cross RC, they sell a military style truck too, if the Cross RC bolt pattern is the same as this, let me know, because I don't know. I'm gonna, you know, I'll probably end up buying a set if I don't hear nothing from nobody, and I'll try to go from there. Now these here I bought online, and you know, these are all over eBay, and I was just kind of looking at the pattern, the bolt pattern inside here, and the hub's the same. You know, the bolt pattern's the same as the hub, you know. And if I wanted to shave it out, then, you know, it's just too much work, because it's kind of a concave thing there, convex or whatever. And but I can use the 12mm hub on these if I wanted a wider style wheel, you know. But my whole deal was with going with this. So what I may do is I may slot these out and use the Allen head side of the bolt, and just because the backside they got the nut sides on there, and I'll probably end up using the military hub on it, because it does fit in the middle, and it does look pretty cool if you're looking at the rim, you know, with the hub in the center. Sorry, my hands are all over the place today, guys. Kind of hard. I got big sausage fingers here, and so there, it's kind of like I got it sitting in there. But you see what I'm going with this. I want a nice, you know, nice heavy duty look, but yet super stock. You know, without the military style wheels and stuff like that. I'll run the Steelies on it. So sometimes, you know, this is what you run into when you're you know, you're trial and error and things. I've never really got into anything 1/12 scale before, but I figured that the Tamiya Semi and all that stuff are, you know, they're 1/12, and then they got the 1/14 scales. And I've seen these axles on RC four-wheel drive, not these ones, but I've seen the military style truck axles. They use them for the excavator, and they had them for the Semi for a while. And they used to give the dimensions. I remember the dimensions. And so when I seen these dimensions as 192 and 184 millimeter, I thought, you know what? I got another frame coming. I just bought, thanks to the Scale Trail guy. He hooked me up. I mean, he had a whole complete frame with leaf springs and everything. And that's the one I want to do the scaler to. So, but anyway, like you say, guys, you know, the Trail Finder 2 wheels, that doesn't fit them either. You know, they're just too small. Even though I could run the 12 millimeter on the thing if I wanted to, but I can't run the hub. I'll have to use the Yoda style hubs, which I do have a set. So, but that's a lesson in learning out there. And if you want to use the ARBs, I've already told you guys that they do fit, but the pumpkin's off center. You know, it's on the other side of the truck. And to put the rears on, you just grind a couple of flat spots in the axle. That's what I did. So the plastic shock mount will lay inside there. I've had these in the truck and they're pretty good. The only problem I had was the drive shaft on the front is hitting the transmission, because this is basically more onto the driver's side of the, if you see, it's more to the driver's side than it is the center. And where these axles here, it's more to the center than it is the driver's side. So, but then that there's going to hit it too. So I might as well be where I'm at with that, you know. So I'll just have to use a smaller drive shaft, and because if I'm going to lower the suspension, I'm going to have to do something with the stock 3-speed tranny. Either turn it sideways a little bit to give me some drive shaft room. But yeah, that's my video for today. You know, it's pretty crappy up here, raining and everything, and I did get a run video of this with the shocks, and it's a lot better. The problem was it started raining and that too, and I had to kind of give it all up. But so okay, guys, the segment for today, and you know, like I say, any questions, comments, hit me up, and if anybody knows that, you know, what will fit these military wheels here, you know, give me a shout. You know, I appreciate it. And anyways, like, share, subscribe. Adios.